Greetings, people. I come in peace. What did we learn from last week's heavyweight bouts? We learned that Bakole has finally arrived. Bakole has been known to be a good heavyweight for a while now, but hasn't really announced himself. I think with this win, he's put himself right in the centre of the mantelpiece. He's in the mix. I can't express enough how it really did look like man against boy in there. I think it was too soon for Jared. Bad matchmaking. Eddie Hearn was saying all week that he wouldn't put Jared in with Martin yet. A risky move. And he was right. Jared and his team was obviously seduced by the payday.
Seduced by the dark side of the Force.
Was it worth the risk? I don't think so. He could have built himself up more. Let him develop. Mature a bit longer. But the turkey called, and you must perform.
I did not pay good money for you for your company. I paid it so that I could profit from your death.
Now, he might be damaged goods. He already had problems outside the ring, and was quite phlegmatic and apathetic about his boxing career. So, it will be interesting how he feels now, and if he's willing to exert himself, strive to get better, and help put American heavyweight boxing back on the map. After all, that's what he was earmarked to do. All credit to Jared, though. He had some success. He just stayed in the pocket too long. When you are facing a bigger, stronger fighter that throws a lot of punches, you have to jab and move, throwing no more than 3 punches at a time, then moving. Jared had the right idea going to the body, but it seemed he wanted to stamp his authority on the fight. But it was way too soon for that. Hunter had the right idea, wearing Bakole down methodically and systematically.
We said speed and movement may be the key for Hunter, and he boxed very well in and out with those shots. Terrific right hand, but Bakole...
I think after the first knockdown, Jared wanted to get back at Martin, which is the impatience of youth. I think if Jared gets his head down and works on some minor details, and if he keeps honing his skills, he can still be a formidable boxer. I think he does need to be more clever about when he chooses to switch to southpaw. Bakole started to triple the right hand as soon as he changed to a southpaw stance. As for Bakole, where does he go from here? I think the Zhilei Zhang fight would be a fantastic fight. Could you imagine? If that doesn't happen, he could fight Gerald Miller. How about Joe Parker? Adit Caballel? Herkovich would be a good one. There's Joe Joyce or Sanchez. It's wide open for him now, as Turkey has given him the golden ticket. I do think a bigger athletic puncher will have some success against Martin, because although Bakole has a good punch output and power, he's also easy to hit. And if he's taken into the later rounds by a consistent and clever boxer, he'll become even more defenseless as the rounds roll by. There is something about the George Foreman about him, the way he throws his punches. He seems to have that thudding power. The Ruiz and Miller fight wasn't as exciting as the Anderson-Bakole fight. Ruiz and Miller resembled a couple of hippos contending for a mate, or walruses, perhaps hippos. You get what I mean. Ruiz has one of the fastest hands in the heavyweight division, and I think there's a gulf in class between him and Miller, but inactivity rarely brings success. Ruiz was blowing after the 4th round. The saying, fatigue makes cowards of all men, is true. Not that Ruiz is a coward, mind you. It's just that he became impotent. Activity and conditioning are imperative for a professional fighter, and Andy Ruiz has simply been ill-disciplined. It's a shame, really. He's genuinely talented and has a lot to offer. Whether he can or will reach his potential is a different story. Look, anyone who buys a scratch card after just beating AJ and earning millions of dollars in the process has some concerning issues and deep instabilities. When I saw Ruiz do that, I said to myself, this man has a problem. Anyway, he got a draw, which was fortunate. None of his punches seemed to have the desired effect on Miller, and it looked to me that Miller did enough to win. Andy did display a damaged right hand, which he said happened in the 5th. It looked badly broken. Maybe it's just the hideous swelling, but it looked very painful. I thought he should have thrown more left hooks instead of the overhand rights, which was probably responsible for his injured right hand, catching Miller on the top of his head, which is a notorious way of damaging your hands. Gerald Miller was fitter this time and applied constant pressure. He was still heavy, but lighter than he's been for a while, and Andy wasn't used to being pushed back like that. Although Andy has quick hands, he doesn't have that sprightly, bouncy movement you'd need against a marauding fighter like Miller. Having Boots Ennis in Miller's camp has been good for him. He knew Andy would be uncomfortable going backwards, and he executed the game plan perfectly, which was easy because that's what Miller normally does anyway, barreling forward, throwing lots of punches. So we got Gerald, he's in the mix. Maybe a Bakole fight would be interesting. He is jammy though. I hope he doesn't test positive. He has a knack of botching, bungling, and fumbling the bag. Hopefully he's learnt his lessons. Anyway, that's my take. Thanks for listening. Please subscribe. And remember, choose life.
And I'm telling you guys, when you leave this joint, keep your chin up. Of course, it's a smart thing to keep your left shoulder up along with it, too. But whatever you do, don't go in for nothing shaped. Stay kosher. Keep your nose clean. And remember, you'll always come out on top with honesty, industry, and a good hard right with the button.